Recording in progress. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, I know. So, James, you're the only one that wasn't here last time, and there was a bunch of folks that jumped on and jumped off. I know Jason said he's coming on. So basically, one of the things, the primary objective was for us to start finding some topics of interest to get folks that are our age interested in the every 2 to 3 year reunion. And I know, when they started this thing back in the 70s and 80s, and even after we graduated, we thought, that's not us. Those are old people going to that reunion. Well, we are the old people now. So this is a pretty big story, going 20-2 and losing to Birch that year, in a year where, with a break here, a break there, you guys could have gone to the States. But anyway, it was a pretty cool story those last 2 or 3 years. So we thought, Paul and I, Greg and Mila put our heads together and started thinking about what are some stories, not just the 92 team, but what are some stories that are going to bring people from the community together. I don't know about you, but those of us that have been away forever, we miss you guys. I know we just missed the camaraderie, as Paul was saying earlier. So this whole thing is in an effort to hopefully grow the reunion for a few more years before the numbers are stacked against us. So appreciate you guys being on. We got Bill.
I agree.
Yeah. And James, thank you. I know you were driving last time, so everybody's in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So, so we got Dale and Jerry, stellar sophomores, and then Paul and James. I think Frank and Joey and Danny will be on in a little bit, but let's start with James. Let's start with you, since we heard a little bit of the story from everybody else. Tell us about when did you fall in love with basketball? I know basketball was big in your family. I can't think about Sharpless basketball without hearing your mom. Those Church of God women, dude, they were the best. They were the best cheerleaders, and she was super loud. But what was basketball like for you and your family growing up? When did you get the bug, man? And from Spruce on up, tell us about it.
I would think, as far as the bug, very early on, probably 4 years old, I guess, if you want to go back that far. And just watching some of the greats on TV. And then, we go back to Spruce grade school. I remember trying out for the team. How nerve-wracking that was. And I think everyone on here knows how that is. And
it wasn't a given.
I didn't think that was like it. What was that?
It wasn't a given. Yeah. Tell us about trying out in 4th grade, right? I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was 4th grade, 5th grade. And so you had to try out every year. I recall. And it was never given to you. And I remember, I won't name any names, but I remember the 4th grade tryout.
Oh, you should name them.
There was a certain individual. Yeah, there was a certain individual looked at me and said, you don't have a shot at this. I don't know why you even tried out. I remember that. And, I think he was a 6th grader, but I won't name any names.
Of course.
So I kind of used that as fuel, I guess, to keep competing. And those, especially the grade school years, were chaotic at best, but boy, did we have fun playing the game. The more I sit and talk about it and think about it, all these names just start, all the guys that we played with that's still with us, some are not. And the coaches, who could forget the coaches, right? Bob Lucas and Ralph Mitchell. So it was nerve-wracking, but I've always loved the game. My uncle, James H. Kish, he was always quick to go out and shoot with me, shoot ball, back at home. And I think his love for the game, he was a big Celtics fan back in the day. And I think his love for the game, and we would get together and watch the NBA, and that kind of fueled the fire for me as far as starting out.
That's really cool. Did you make the fourth grade team?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Good. If I'm right, James, were you and Frank the only two that made it our fourth grade year? Because I remember trying out and I didn't make it to fourth grade year. And I remember the disappointment of that. And
I believe you.
Yeah, it really, like you said, you use that for fuel to say, I got to get better at this because I really want that. And, so
yeah, and that's right. I think you're correct. And yeah, I remember also a comment that was made. Well, you only made it because you're tall. and I just thought, man, okay, well, that's probably true. That's because I couldn't dribble myself out of trouble. So at all, I was lucky to dribble a straight line at that time. Probably ever, if Lenny would tell the truth, he probably figured I could never dribble a straight line.
Lenny, so you were in the fifth grade when Paul and James and Frank were trying out for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Were you on the team?
No, I didn't play until my.
I was gonna say you were like all in on football when you were a little kid, right?
Yeah. I really started liking the game when I got in, high school. It's junior high. I started playing then.
Tell us about when was the first year you played, man?
I think it was seventh grade. I think.
So you were just all about the Ramage Redskins until seventh grade.
Oh yeah. That was my love, football.
That was your love?
Oh yeah.
So did you feel like by the seventh grade, did you feel like you were behind everybody in terms of skills, or like just jumped in there and used your athleticism? Like, what was that like?
I don't know. I just wanted to be part of the guys. That's about all it was.
Be a part of the team.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wanted to be, part of the team, a team.
Yeah.
The A team. Yeah. A team. You didn't want to be a part of the B team.
It didn't matter as long as I was part of a team.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I had to be a part of the B team a few times, a lot. I mean, let's be honest. I was a B team material. So seventh grade, you play, who was your coach? Johnny Adkins, Lenny? When you guys were all in seventh grade, what was that like? Johnny Adkins, or who was your coach? Ralph, or I mean, Mr. Moxley?
It was JV. I think it was it Carroll or Smith?
I think both of them helped out, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry Norman was in there at some point. Maybe he was our ninth grade year.
Mr. Norman was when Dale and Jerry are a year ahead of me, but Mr. Norman was our junior high coach, 7, 8, and 9, right?
Yeah, he went from us from an assistant coach in the sixth grade at Spruce, and then went to the junior high coach. So we had Jerry Norman from, I guess, fifth on, didn't we, Dale? So
yes, yeah, he just came up. I think he started teaching like our third or fourth grade year, then became an assistant and just followed us almost until ninth grade.
I guess fourth grade. Yeah, me and Dale was on there.
Yeah, he was that's right. He was at Spruce, and then it seems like by the time I was in the seventh grade, Mr. Norman had already taken over for Mr. Adkins. I don't know if Johnny was. What was that timeline like? Where Johnny Adkins?
I don't think Johnny was actually a coach, but he like when we were on the playground, he was our sixth grade teacher.
Okay.
He was here teaching, and then he would watch us on the playground at school. And I remember that basketball court connected to the tennis court. I remember one thing that Johnny Adkins told us, that really kind of set fire to me, because we thought we were good, we were fast, we were able to play and score points in sixth grade, big shots, And then Johnny Adkins, he was a smoker, but he could outrun any one of us. I think he was fast as could be. So if you really want to get better at this game, you got to get in shape and be able to run. And I think that's one of the things that motivated us to, at least motivated me to improve my speed a little bit.
Mr. Early.
I know Johnny.
Hello.
Johnny in later years, he coached baseball in high school.
Did he?
That. Mm-hmm.
What years did he coach?
He sure
James,
did.
why did you not play baseball when why did you, you were not on you didn't play baseball that year when I was in ninth grade. Was it just not your?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I enjoyed baseball, played Little League, and then played some in high school.
You were on the Braves.
Played some Babe
Frank.
Ruth after high school.
You and Frank were on the Braves, weren't you? I remember.
There's Mr. Early.
I was on the Bad News
How you doing,
Bears.
Frank?
The
Good,
Bad
how you doing?
Bears, yeah. What's up, Frank? We're talking about Spruce grade school and fourth grade and all that pressure. Paul, so you said Frank and James made the fourth grade team. You didn't make it. Did you have somebody in your ear like James did that motivated you? That was like, you know how fifth and sixth graders can be to fourth graders.
Right.
What was that like for you?
I don't remember anybody specifically say anything to me other than just the letdown as soon as whatever that day was, and they were announcing who made the team and who didn't. It was a huge letdown to me to say, I got to try again next year. And I remember going to, because my older brother, not my oldest, but a couple years ahead of me, he was
Pulling
playing
the hair. He's
Right.
hair now, so it's just funny.
So, but I remember going to pick him up from the practice, and I'm sitting there on the stage, just dribbling a basketball, doing whatever I can, and thinking, man, one of these days I'm going to get out there and play.
Mm.
So it really just worked after that. Worked on dribbling, holding ball, shooting, and just anything I could to get going to be on the team.
It's awesome. And you made it your fifth grade year?
Made it my fifth grade year, and from then on, yes.
Oh, you didn't make the fourth grade team?
No, it was
It's just
I don't
you two, right?
Joey,
James and Frank?
I remember Joey, he was an alternate.
in fourth grade.
Mhm.
Yes, I think so.
Mhm.
Okay.
See, I'd forgotten about Paul not making it fourth grade. I forgot all about that, Frank. But I guess Joey was an alternate fourth grade.
So Lenny and James and Paul, and I want to get to Jerry and Dale too, and I think some other guys are going to jump on here. But Paul, everybody was talking about how they got the bug, and Lenny, and starting in Spruce, Lenny talked about being, football was his first love. I know you were like a really, kind of an all-star Ramage Redskin too, man, with as a running back, Frank the Tank. We've all heard the stories. When did you decide that football or basketball was going to be your thing, man? When did you first play for? I mean, obviously you made the fourth grade team, but how did you decide what you were going to do?
I did a little bit of everything. I enjoyed all sports, so
Yeah.
I decided to stay at Sharples to play basketball. I could have went to Scott. They wanted me to come to Scott or Logan to play for football, but I decided to stay with the guys that play basketball.
What was that like? Who was reaching out to you? Was it Roger Gertz at Logan back in the day? Who was reaching out to you at Scott and Logan?
I really can't remember.
And was there ever like a big decision? Like, man, because you could have probably played just about anywhere. Why did you decide to stay?
I don't know. Football, it's a little bit too much contact for me.
Oh, hell.
Oh no, that's hard.
Oh,
Oh, that's hard to believe, Frank. Come on, man.
He's a finesse guy. He's a finesse guy.
Oh,
He don't want to be touched. He don't want to be touching the hole. Make a big old hole for that guy.
Well, most of
I played basketball with some guys since fourth grade. A lot of times with I played football with Lenny, so I finally talked Lenny into playing basketball in the ninth grade because he wasn't even playing basketball till about the ninth grade, so he was a late comer.
He told,
I think
yeah.
7.
He started playing in the seventh grade.
Yeah. My
I
second.
was just telling that story earlier that he didn't play basketball at all until the 7th grade, and he wanted to just be a part of y'all. He wanted to be part of his buddies.
Yeah. So
We've done a lot of Sandlot.
yeah,
Speaking of Sandlot, somebody brought up Monclo. I remember, Paul and James. I remember, like, Church of God boys, dude. Like we loved when we could go up to have church at Mr. Starkey's house, so we could watch everybody come up there and dunk on the 8-foot rims, man.
Yeah.
That was and then the same thing at Spruce Grade School, right? There was you guys remember playing ball out there by the Church of God in Monclo? Obviously you do, James. What was
Sure.
it was, there was a hoop in every community. And I mean, I know they weren't big communities, but it was just a part of life, right?
Well, pretty much every yard there was. I know where, in the little big town of Mifflin, in just about every yard there was a basketball rim. I think a general location would have been Rocky Stover's house. Jerry can back me up on this. There was some great games played there. Rocky beat up on us little guys, but yeah, man, we played many evenings till after dark over at Rocky's.
Rocky Stover. Yeah, I heard he was a phenomenal pitcher in high school. But
He sure was.
yeah,
He sure was.
an athlete, yeah. Well,
And as far as
go ahead, James.
like he's talking about pickup and football. Hey, I remember playing at Spruce Grade School out there in the play yard, playing football against Frank and Lenny and I guess all the boys there. There wasn't anybody could touch Frank. He didn't have to worry about contact. Once he come at you, man, just one cut, he was gone. It didn't matter.
Lenny, what was your position in football at Ramit? What did you play, buddy?
Middle linebacker, guard. I played all kind of positions.
Put you on the line. Did you like to put a helmet on people?
Oh yeah, I love to hit.
Cracking pads. Oh my gosh. What's more fun than that?
I tried to make some holes for Frank.
I think Frank probably made his own holes, man.
that's pretty quick.
Dude, at Tech, did they try to get you to play some football at Tech?
Yeah, my senior year, they wanted me to, after basketball, I could have played like a half a semester of football. But nah, I wasn't ready for that.
So I want to get into basketball here. I don't know who else is going to join, but so Jerry and Dale, man, I played more basketball with you guys than I played with Paul and these guys when we played intramurals and all that. But I didn't play any formal basketball with those guys. Tell us about making the team. Tell us about junior high, Spruce Grade basketball, growing up and all that, and what it was like that 92 year, being a part of that. Dale, we didn't hear much from you last time, man. Let me hear from you, brother.
I don't really remember much, honestly, about that time. I don't know why.
About your life?
Life, but
just messing with you.
No, it is. I spent I think I spent one too many days at Fort Bragg. So yeah. But
when did you realize that you loved basketball, Dale? I mean, because I remember your ninth grade year, my eighth grade year, we had a good team, pretty good team there.
Yeah, initially it was just something to do. I was so bored, and just being outside, I had to be active, had to run, had to do something. And honestly, where we were, it was only really at that age. Yeah, you had little league baseball, but there was only basketball. There was no soccer, there was no all these things these kids have today. It was baseball and basketball. That was it.
100%.
So it was. I don't ever remember saying, "Wow, I have a basketball. I can do this now." It was just like, "Oh, cool, I have a basketball. Let's go do something." Just to actually be with people.
Yeah. That's a good point. Speaking of like heavy basketball, being outside in the summer and doing something when we were kids, like what about playing at the outdoor courts there between Spruce and the baseball field? And do you guys remember how much basketball we played there in the summer when we were kids and junior high and even high school? Like it was there's a lot going on there, and playing and getting access to the gym. You remember getting access to the gym when you were a kid? Like, oh, we get to play in the gym and the high school gym when we're kids and school's not in session.
Big.
It was big.
Yeah.
So Dale, when did you realize that you
big.
had some talent? I know you were a leaper, dude. I remember playing ball with you. I remember even your 9th grade year and then what you went on to do at Logan High School. Like you were a leaper. You had good ball skills. You became a really good jump shooter.
I think
When did you
one
realize
day,
this was your game?
yeah, one day we were in gym and Ralph Cook said something and I just ran and jumped and I touched the rim. That was honestly the first time and I was like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. But that wasn't I don't think that happened by accident. I was preparing myself and I didn't know it. I mean, let's just face it. When you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you're doing stuff and you think it's fun, but you're doing some kind of training or something. And I remember I would go up on that hill behind my mom's and that hill that Christy Dillon would, and I would run that hill. I just loved running. So I would run that hill. Well, running those hills build up leg muscles and core muscles. And you just repetitively and continuously do that year after year after year. And those muscles grew. And it happened.
That's
so
a secret.
if it wasn't for that, none of that would have happened.
You should have filled those in on that side there.
That's Jerry Rice, man. That's Jerry Rice. Yeah, running the hill in San Francisco. That's pretty cool. So by your 8th grade year, so by 8th grade, 9th grade year, did you feel you still weren't quite sure? Because you and Jerry and Robbie, Scotty and I just played defense and passed y'all the ball when we were in 8th grade on that junior high team. It's pretty much what we did. I played defense and ran the court and passed it off to you or Jerry or Robbie down low. Did you realize at that point that you had a little bit of good footwork and good?
I did, but you didn't know how good, because of course when you're 13, 14, you think you're a whole lot better than what you really are. But I didn't really know how good, because like I'd go see my dad, I'd go to Logan and hang out with my dad and hang out at McConnell and on the island. And those were some really good basketball players in 91, 92.
Yeah.
And you found yourself judging yourself against like Jeff Miller, DeAndre Murphy, Sonny Green. And you're like, wow, I want, and that's how it is. I want to do that. And you're like, how are you going to get to that point? How are you going to get to that point? And you just went and just every time I was at my dad's, I kind of really wasn't at my dad's. I had a basketball and I was on the island or something playing. And I just played continuously with those guys. And then I'll never forget, 10th grade, I think I left our basketball practices with more bruises than I've had in my entire life.
James Kish posting you up, pushing you around a little bit.
But that developed a lot of stuff. That really did. So it was the right circumstances.
It's kind of like James said earlier, nearly every house had a basketball court in their backyard. And I remember Jeff and I growing up, and we had and everybody else was like this too. It was a dirt court. But like Dale said, it's just something you did. You went out in the backyard, you just played and took crazy shots. You practiced dribbling and went off a clump of dirt and went the wrong way, and you just learned how to. It really did. Like Dale said, it just improves your skill, even though you weren't intentionally trying to do that.
You watch the Lakers and the Celtics every Sunday after church, and then you go out to the dirt and you'd be like, what was Magic Johnson doing there? Yeah. Okay. not even close. But that was inspiring. Like, all right, I'm gonna go out in the dirt and shoot some ball and try to emulate whatever the Celtics or the Lakers were doing. You know, this was before MJ was really on the rise. So it was just, you just had a old piece of plywood up there and a rim.
That was it.
That's it. Jerry, all right, man, let's hear from you.
Rim,
What was your,
on a telephone pole?
oh, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, I just said, or maybe just a rim screwed into a telephone pole.
Yes,
You didn't
or
have a backboard.
yeah, like an old
Bicycle.
the bicycle tire on a telephone pole. Yes, the bicycle tire with the spokes cut out. Jerry, I know you were part of that Mifflin crew, man. You must have grown up like rough, dude. Those kids in Mifflin, you know, they were rough and tough, man. Y'all had a bunch of boys. We had us and the Garners and the Moore boys, and that was pretty much it, man. But y'all had a big crew at Mifflin. What was it like growing up in Mifflin and figuring out your love for the sport?
Well, I'd say my love come from my dad. He grew up in Hazard, Kentucky, so he brainwashed me at a young age to watch UK. So grew up watching these basketball games, and then when I got a little older, you watching James and older kids in the camp, Rocky Stover. We had some epic battles there. That's still like where everybody would go and meet. You know, Matt, Robbie. You know, it was, and Rocky would always join in, and even Ray would come over and play some. So it was some epic battles there. We really enjoyed that. Spruce, I think me and Dale made it our 4th grade year, and but you know, the only thing it does is get you better playing the better people. Same thing was whenever we go in the 10th grade, we battled James and Frank and Paul and Lenny and Joey, and it was pretty awesome to get to play with them every day. It got us a lot better. You know, as a basketball player, every one of us on here, you always think you want to play and you want to be on the court and you want to contribute, but I can't ever sit here thinking I never thought I should be playing ahead of any of those guys. So they were some legit players and legit athletes. So, you know, junior high, Robbie Williams' dad, Timmy, gave me a couple of VHS tapes back in the day, and I converted them to digital. So I'll send you some, maybe put it on YouTube or something. But yeah, Dell said we always thought we were better than we were. You know, I coach my son now, and I tell him all the things he needs to do, and I watch myself, and I'm like, oh my God, don't watch this, Bryce. I didn't really get out there. That was a bad shot. Yeah. So, yeah, you kind of remember yourself a lot, maybe a lot better than you really were. But yeah, it was basketball is kind of brought everybody together. I think, you know, when you're young, you like we don't have the stuff to do the kids that do now, but then it was a chance. You know, you get 6, 7, 8 people together, we're playing. You know, it was let's go to the court. You know.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great childhood for that. I don't know of one place in Mifflin that didn't have a basketball court. I had, you know, a little dirt court. James had a little dirt court. Robbie had a dirt court. You know, but Rockies was where we went. So.
Frank, you grew up in Coal Valley. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I know we used to go to church down there sometimes. Where did you guys play ball? Where did you go when you wanted to do a pickup game when you guys were kids? You and Lenny lived pretty close to each other. Where'd y'all play on the dirt court, man?
I had a dirt court and Lenny had a court, so either my house or his house.
Yeah.
The only thing with my court, I had a power line right in the middle of so you had to shoot over the power line. So I think that helped develop my jump shot.
Is that why you shot those big?
You get orange, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right about the foul line, you had to shoot over the power line. Yeah.
You did have a pretty high arching shot, man. I bet that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Was Darren like the bully? Was he a little bit of a bully, Lenny? Did he just beat y'all up when he was?
No.
He didn't push you
He was
around?
big enough to pick nobody up.
Dude, this is being recorded, by the way, FYI.
I'm good with it. I had
You
Frank
got to have an older cousin. You got to have a Paul Garner and a Chris Garner that's going to beat you down, especially when you're 5 foot.
I had. We could take him.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, hey, let's jump into 92. So we got like 25 minutes left if we wrap up. I don't know if anybody else is joining. I'm just wondering if someone has said something on Facebook. I don't know, man. Was it pretty easy for you guys to log on, just in case someone's asking how to
it was easy for me, John.
get on?
Yep.
Okay. So the last time we talked a lot about we jumped around all over from the beginning of the season. So we are going to, the objective is to have, do this call here and talk about a little bit about the season. And a lot of folks from the community have asked to be on, students that are kids, the people that are our age, we're not kids, and people from the community. So I think maybe somewhere in January, February, we'll do one more, and we're just going to invite everyone from the community and just encourage everyone from the team to be on, just to kind of talk about that. So from a fan perspective and other students and all the stuff, just, the hype that kind of happened that year. And then, over the next 2 years, we really do. I'm just going to send this out to everybody now. Again, we just want you to be a part of the reunion 2 years from now. And, challenge your schoolmates to come out, have your own Zoom meetings and talk about what your classes were like and this and that. We don't want the community to die. So that was the primary objective here. So, and this was a big thing for all of us and for you guys. So we talked last time a little bit about, the sectional, the Mate 1 game and the Birch game. So James, I'm going to jump back to you first, man. At the beginning of this, so I look back, Chris, my cousin, Paul's brother, reminded us a little bit, and Danny Moore, a little bit about the transition that happened between 90 and 91. When you guys went from sophomore to junior year, the transition that happened there to kind of like a more ball, a movement offense, and then, going to the college there and then from 91 to 92, that motion offense, not movement. You guys remember from going from sophomores to juniors, Frank, and then from juniors to senior. Tell us a little bit about like what that was like, what was going on with what Moxley was trying to do with you. What did you see with that in terms of the motion offense and going up to Fairmont for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years in a row, and what that meant to the team there as you guys started to gel?
It was huge. It was huge. I mean, that was probably one of the most important things that could have happened to our team was to go to Fairmont and pick up that offense. And I think I remember him kind of mentioning, you guys need to get acclimated to, say, college, college level, and get the speed up of the offense where everybody's moving, everybody's flowing. And it just created so much opportunities, for everybody and hitting the open man. But that was probably one of the biggest things and beneficial things to the team.
What was it like? When did you? I'm going to just jump back to you again, James, and then I want to, hear from Paul, Frank, and Lenny. what was it like that the very first year when you were about to be juniors? Because I know that was the first time in several years that I think they went 11-10 y'all's junior year. What was it? Did you feel something like palpable happening? Did you feel like, all right, we're starting to gel? Me and Joey and Frank and Paul, and now Danny's coming up. And did you feel like something was happening? What did it feel like? When did you realize that?
I think I think that it was early on in the practices, and we all just, I don't know. I mean, it just had a chemistry. There was that chemistry word again, and it was very important to have it. And through the first practices, you could tell it didn't really matter who got the opportunity to shoot the ball, just so that person did get that opportunity. That's what we were after, to score the basketball. And, you know, nobody was, I guess, you know, it didn't really matter. Everybody felt like they were important. They were part of the team. And that's the way I don't know, it started early on to me, or for me. I know, so, you know, I just kind of look around and thought, everybody has the same mindset I do. Everybody wants to win games, and it's not who's shooting it, who's putting the ball in the basket. It's just so the ball gets in the basket. But I think it was early on, probably in the first few practices, in my opinion, Jeff.
Frank, Paul, and Lenny, I want to hear from all three of you here on that. What was it like that? Where did you guys feel that, man, this thing is coming together?
For me, I remember, I'm pretty sure it was our junior year, and I'm going to connect something else to my current life with this. But Mr. Moxley put together this lunchtime 3-on-3 basketball thing. I remember James and Frank and myself, and we gave ourselves a nickname, you know, the Dominators, and there were several different little teams of 3-on-3, and it was during lunchtime.
I remember intramurals. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd eat lunch or do whatever, jump down off the stage, you go play your quick game. But now that I'm a teacher, giving up your lunchtime is huge. Like, it's not something I would not voluntarily give up my lunchtime, because it's a 30-minute section of the day that I can't do without. And so when I'm looking back on that now, thinking, Mr. Moxley put that together, he used up his lunchtime, Mr. Cook, the same thing, to let us have that opportunity. And that really, we already had a friendship, everybody did, but that really just solidified the whole thing and put a little competitive piece in there. It really helped us to improve all around. So yeah, like James said, that meshing together, it really happened little by little since we're growing up. Everybody just friends and wanting the best for each other. It created a really good team atmosphere.
I cannot believe we haven't talked about intramurals that year and the Dominators. My team was not important. We were in a part of the 9th grade team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. But like, that was fantastic. That what they gave up to do that. We had no idea what they were doing to try to organize that and give us opportunities to, you know, play ball. And it was for the betterment of everyone. So you and Frank and James, yes, you guys are the Dominators. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that name. And oh my God, I can't believe the little recesses of your mind that you keep things in. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was them. Lenny, do you
forgot about that name.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
I said I forgot about that name. Did you remember that, Frank?
Yeah, Dominators.
Right.
Okay.
Did you guys were senior? That was before the basketball season, right? That was when the girls' basketball season was kind of going on early in the fall.
Yes, yeah. No, we did it. Didn't they do it 2 years? It was
Yeah.
Then we did our senior year, or were we? We might have been were we sophomores?
I can't remember.
I did.
Junior when they done it.
Junior.
I'm pretty sure it's the year after we went to camp, and we went. I think it was we was going into the junior season.
Yeah, I think that because we were like in 7th or 8th grade when me and Scotty Burgess and John Mayhorn were on a team together, I believe. So it must have been y'all's 11th grade year. But like, Frank, do you remember the intramurals there? All that, and what do you think that meant for, solidifying, or just kind of like, it seemed like for 2 or 3 years, Moxley and Cook were like on a mission to make you guys, live, eat, breathe, and sleep basketball.
Definitely he got a lot of help from the Fairmont State coaching staff. Like, he implemented the offense, and they gave him some advice on where people should play. Because initially he had me as a forward. I
Like
played the
four.
And I guess Fairmont State told him put me, I should be a guard. So he moved me to 2. And it's like James said, I might be the leading scorer, but I had complete confidence in their scoring and their abilities. So, I was coming out and I might have 10, 15 shots a game. But I wasn't trying to shoot the ball every time I came down the court. So everybody had their opportunity to score, and,
Yeah.
that was important.
It was the most selfless basketball. I know it was our high school and all that. It was very selfless. Lenny, do you remember the intramurals? Did you play the intramural league?
Yeah, I got to be with Chris and Danny.
You played with the older kids.
Yeah. I don't know the name of her.
I hear something behind that. Yeah. Did y'all lose the Dominators win?
Lenny wanted to be a part of the Dominators.
I
wanted to be.
Yeah. He was. I remember him being
They
upset.
threw me out.
No, he didn't.
Oh man.
It was Kish.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, we're digging up some old wounds here, man.
But like
See,
Frank
we
was saying,
never did want to be separated.
no, we didn't really. It's like Frank was saying a minute ago. He took the shots, and it was, like he knowed that if he missed, he had rebounders. You know what I mean? And if he wasn't going to get the shot, he had somebody he could go to underneath. It was selfless.
It was such a selfless team. We talked about rebounding last time with Joey and Paul and James. James had to drop off. He was on, like, it was such a great rebounding team on the offensive boards. Really good. Like, y'all were physical. I remember them, putting a body on people. I mean, you go out there and play with your nephews nowadays and put a body on them, and they're like, "Oh God, you're touching me." No, yeah, I'm touching you. I'm going to push your butt out from under here. But like, y'all were a great rebounding team. Great rebounding team. I mean,
Everybody knew their role.
Yeah.
Everybody knew their role. Everybody knew their job. And you're right. And I think, if I ain't mistaken, the drill, was it called the hamburger drill? I don't know if you guys remember this, but it happened in practice and it was brutal. But I remember, and it carried through my whole career. I even passed it along to my son when he started playing basketball. The shot goes up, you put a body on somebody. Whoever's close to you, you block them out. And yeah, it made us a lot better. And I think that came from Fairmont State basketball camps as well, as far as rebound.
Well, so 2 things. I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet, but you weren't on the last call. But number one, what was that coach's name at Fairmont State? He had such a beautiful jump shot. What was his name?
Retton?
Was it Retton?
Retton? I think his last
Retton was the assistant.
I think it was Retton.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Tall, thin,
Yes.
kind of balding. What was it, Lenny?
They was a Retton and a Hess both, wasn't they?
I think Retton was the lead coach, the head coach. But yeah, you're right. It was the year that we went up there with you. It was put a body on somebody when the shot goes up. And James, dude, and your son went on to like, I mean, I don't want to say this because you were a good ball player, but your son kind of went on to like, your son kind of, he kind of in your son's shadow a little bit. And Logan County, that kid,
But they're right.
what a great leaper,
I'm
man.
tickled.
Where's your son at now? Is he
Yeah.
fourth
Yeah, I'm
year at
tickled
Citadel?
with it.
Is he in his 4th year at Citadel or
No,
third?
he's no, he's in his junior year. at
Junior
Citadel.
year.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was fun to watch in high school. Good
Yep.
kid. Good leaper.
Yeah, I'm tickled to death to be in his shadow. Yeah. But he
Man,
did well.
he probably couldn't, you know,
And he
he's
listened.
skinny little guy. He probably couldn't put it. You probably could push him out from underneath the box, man. That guy, he probably could not get a rebound from you. You were a big old boy.
Well, make no mistake about it, Jeff. He felt my elbows growing up. Now, I know all about it. And I think it.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm sure that pushed him to make him better. And Frank, you had some kids that play good ball, and Paul, I know your boys are playing right now. Jerry, your kids are a little younger, right? Your kids are a little younger playing ball. Are they playing some ball right now?
Yeah, my boy is he's 12. He's playing on the 7th grade team at Madison. So he plays JV. So.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake. Paul did. I'm assistant coaching there. So
We've all done that. Frank, did you coach your kids? No, just stay out of it. Yeah.
Not try to give them some advice.
Yeah. It's got to be tough when your dad was like a really good player. You're a kid trying to like, that's got to be a tough thing. It's got to be a tough thing.
I showed my oldest son some of my clips. I ended up laughing at my shorts, so I don't think he took me serious.
That happened to you too?
Yeah, he thought that was hilarious.
Oh my God.
That happened to me too, Frank.
Yeah.
I got, they were ridiculously short, man. Oh my gosh.
Was I still get in mine? Shut up, Kish.
I mean, I don't know if that's for intimate time with you and your
I doubt
dad,
it.
or you just do it on your own because you like to get in those shorts, or what's up with that, Lenny?
I just try them on just to make sure.
You just try them on, make sure you're not getting too
sure.
fat. Make sure you don't get too fat.
Reminiscing.
That's like that shirt Kish has got on there. Is that a Sharpless shirt, Kish?
Yeah.
I like it.
I've got an old practice jersey, and I've got Lenny. I think I have your old jersey, buddy.
Really?
Yes, I can give it to you. Moxley, I mean, the year that we graduated, Jerry was a junior, I was a sophomore. They gave everybody their jerseys, baseball and basketball.
That's pretty cool.
So, I don't know. I think I was 23 and 24. I think that was yours. I need to get that to you.
I'm good. You keep it.
I hope it's not eaten by moths by now, but no, I've seen it a couple months ago. I'm gonna get you that.
Yours in storage too.
Yeah, it's in storage. All right.
Hey, speaking of old memorabilia stuff, I think we need to give some credit to Barry Burgess. I don't know if you guys follow him on Facebook or look at the stuff he puts on there, but he must have clipped every single thing about everything dealing with Sharpless. A lot of newspaper clippings on there of all of our games and stuff, and that is, we weren't his kids, but he took all this stuff. He took all that stuff, and I really appreciate it because I don't have those things from my own stuff. I lost a lot of that stuff, but thanks for him and a few other folks, they've really put a lot of things out there, and the fans, the support that we got from our fans,
Absolutely.
that was important.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't
He did a
stop
lot
at
of work.
us. He followed a lot of other kids that was like community kids, like that was like James's boy.
Mhm.
Several different kids I've
Yeah.
seen him put clippings in on.
Yeah. And Dale and Jerry's career, and
Mhm.
me and Mikey and all of us kids that were in 10th and 11th grade, and then on to his kids and everybody's kids since then. So it's the Sharples legacy. So let's talk about the season a little bit. All right. And then we'll wrap up. I guess no one else is joining here. Let me make sure nobody's trying to talk to me over here. James, you get to go first, buddy. We
Yeah.
talked about everything from the first game at was it Glenn Rogers? And then we went all the way to Birch. What was your most memorable game of the year? Disappointment, highlight? Give us a little bit of a snippet of that year, man, for you.
Okay, I think the Wahama Christmas tournament was pretty cool, and I enjoyed that. I think
You guys beat
sectionals.
Tiger. You guys beat
I don't know,
Tiger
every
Creek.
game.
Who's Tiger Creek? And then
Mhm.
you lost to Wahama. One of your two losses of the year. You lost to Wahama. Seriously.
Yeah.
Whose fault was that, James? Why did you guys lose to Wahama?
That was a last
Oh,
second.
Frank
third.
missed the shot. Frankie missed the shot. That's what happened.
Frank missed the shot.
That's the only shot he missed all year. Wasn't
You can't win them all.
Yeah.
So was that
No, I think somebody hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Then Wahama hit the 3-pointer in the corner, and
Yeah.
I think it was over Danny Juro. So I'm gonna blame Danny Juro.
Yeah, he ain't on it.
Man, you can play better defense, man. You can play better defense, Danny Gerald. You can't do everything.
And then I think of course the sectional tournament. I guess it was a highlight, and it was the biggest heartbreak because that pretty much ended our season. Didn't agree with it. I've thought a lot about it. I'd say a lot of people have. A lot of people thought about it that game, but I think we got stopped short. I think we had a lot more to give and show the state about our little community and basketball team. So I guess that was the two highlights. Every game was different, though. In my opinion, every game was different. When you stepped out on the court with your best friends, you went out there and played the game you loved. And, I don't know. I mean, each game had a different atmosphere to it. I know our home games, when we played at home, there was nothing like it. We had all the backing of the community, and it was just an amazing year.
We talked a little bit last time about, the anomaly of Matewan. You played them second game of the year. I know we talked about this, and Paul and Frank and Lenny talked a little bit about it from their perspective, and Joey. Like, you played them 3 times. Second game of the year, 71-65 Sharples. And then 2 games before the sectional ended, so it must have been sometime in November, right? Early December? December? Maybe the end of December, 69-65 Sharples. And then the sectional game. You had to beat them 3 times, and all 3 games were close. Like, do you remember any of those games, James? Like, what was your challenge? What was your challenge there? Do you remember playing over there? That school's not even around anymore. It's what the heck is that school called? Migo Central. But anyway.
Yeah. Keeping Cunningham from dunking on us would probably be the biggest thing.
He was super fast and very athletic. Yeah. Did Lenny, you play? Lenny, were you on him?
Probably.
Did y'all change your defense up for that for Cunningham? Was it Melvin Cunningham, right?
Yeah.
So, somebody said he lives in
It's
Charleston. You
1-3-1.
guys seen him? You guys seen Melvin Cunningham anytime?
I seen him when my boy
4
played
years ago.
football, but
Frank, you said you saw him?
It was years ago. It was at Marshall. He was I think a senior year at Marshall. I was seeing him. I talked to him a little bit, but he was a superstar by then.
Right on. Yeah, that's a tough draw, man. All right.
Rebounding, Jeff. Rebounding was one of our biggest things against May, because they were pretty good sized boys. I mean, they matched up with us size wise.
They were big guys.
I think rebounding was that was the mountain to climb with them.
Yeah, I'd love to get back into those statistics on how what the statistics were on rebounding game by game. All I have are the scores, but anyway. Yeah, that team played you guys close every single time. So
It was physical.
Frank
Very
and
physical game.
yeah. So I'm just going to kind of open this up. I know we've been almost an entire hour. Open it up for anything else. Frank and Lenny and Paul, anything else that you guys remember from the season? Jerry and Dale, same thing, man. This is kind of opened up. I don't have any more questions. You guys, this has been wonderful, but what do you remember from that season? The good, the bad, the crowd.
One thing I remember that really stood out in my mind was when we were first rated or ranked in the newspaper. And I remember going to school and hearing that we're ranked in the newspaper. Somebody recognized us, of all places. And just watching that week after week, we kept moving up in the AP poll. And that it created a lot of excitement.
I remember that. What was practices like? Did Moxley was he on you guys to not think about it, not talk about it? Was it something that was talked about, or how was that treated in practice?
I think Moxley, was up to date.
He was not.
Yeah, he kept his own. He let us know where he let us know.
Yeah,
Where
he
he
was excited.
That Wahama team. I don't know if you guys went back and looked at the power rankings. That Wahama team was. Did they not play Birch for the? Did they not? That Wahama team went to the state championship that year? Did they? Did they not?
I don't think Birch won it that year, did they? I think Tiger Creek won that, didn't it?
Franklin,
yeah.
Franklin, which is now a AA school, but you guys whooped Kiger really, really, really bad in that Christmas tournament. The first game, you beat him by 28 points. But Wahama went to the state tournament. Is my point.
Yeah.
They may not have won, but they went to the tournament. And Birch lost to Franklin up in the Panhandle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's one thing a lot of people don't know, but Franklin, Moxley actually contacted that coach and give Franklin our offense. Either he contacted him or it was vice versa. He wanted that flow offense. I don't know if any of the guys remember Moxley talking about that, but they used our offense against them. A lot of people didn't know that.
I had no idea. So Birch lost in the championship game to Franklin, and they used y'all's offense. Well, that's cool, man.
Yes, he did.
That's good stuff.
We could have beat Franklin.
But you guys, you know what? I remember being there in the stands at the Birch game, and I'm not going to go down the conspiracy road or anything like that. Y'all had the talent to beat anyone state that year. On the right, that Birch and Hearts were a good team. Y'all lost to Hearts. the last second by 2 points, but or 4 points or whatever it was. But it was a good team and some hard breaks. But anyway,
I've got one thing to ask on that, Birch.
do it. Uh-oh. Here
Did
we
you
go.
make,
Here we
did
go,
you
baby.
create a foul on the bench, Kish? That's what I want to know. Okay, that's all I need
Yeah.
This makes,
to know.
Yeah.
this,
Go, Lenny.
this makes, yeah, this makes it official, Lenny, right here. Yes, I'll never forget Moxley jumped probably higher than any of us could jump at that time.
He's on
They
the
called number
bench.
42 on the bench for personal. Yeah, that's what he screamed. He was screaming, he's on the bench. He's on the bench. Yeah. Yeah, I had 4 fouls in the first, I don't know. It was in the first quarter, I think I had 4 fouls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, it is
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
Maybe they were legit. Maybe they were legit. Maybe they had too much caffeine or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know too many people who get a foul called on them on the jump ball. That was my first foul, was on the jump ball, if you all remember.
it was. That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. It was a hyped up game in Willie Acres Arena. It was a hyped up game, man. But like I think I tend to think that and I've talked to Henry Bishop a lot about this the last couple of reunions, and we have a lot of fun talking to Henry. But refs do the best they can. I hate to think that stuff was fixed and this and that, but like I think that there's just a lot of hype, and sometimes that carries over. But that was a crazy game, man. Lenny, you got a point, buddy. Lenny Workman wants to know, how do you call a foul on a dude number 42 on a bench? Okay, that's what we want to know, Logan County.
And Jeff, you
One
mentioned.
thing I can tell you is that's just being good, Paul. That's just being good, getting a foul. You're fouling somebody while you're on the bench.
He's probably going to create another
Take
foul.
talent.
I'd say that's where all this sensitivity stuff started.
Yeah, if you remember leading up to that Birch game, weeks prior to that, Birch's coach had come to Sharpless High School to scout us out.
Mhm.
And we had also traveled over to Man High School to scout out Birch when they played against Man. So like there was almost like a rivalry, I guess, leading up to that sectional game, of us expecting, Birch is going to be the one we got to get over, and them the same in thoughts to us. This is going to be one of the teams we're going to have to get past. So yeah, it really did hype up that last game.
What was it like, Lenny? When did you know that you were going to have to did you guys play a boxing one? You were on Roger Workman. What was did you guys change the defensive strategy in that last game? What was it like?
I'm thinking we played box. I'm not sure. Was that what it was, Kish?
Yeah, we kind of mixed it up. There was a boxing one, and then I think
Triangle.
a triangle. Yeah, a triangle too.
Yeah.
Back and forth. Yeah.
It seemed like Roger Workman, you pretty much shut him down, right, Lenny?
Yeah, I mean, he scored, but he didn't do what he normally done.
Frank, did you stay out of foul trouble in that game, the sectional final?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I think I had probably
Or
4 fouls. Yeah.
Seems like all you guys were just getting teed up
Yeah.
nonstop.
One that Hatfield undercut me, and they called a charge on me. I remember he got hurt. I think I broke his rib or something.
A fight right now. Let's go get him. Look, Birch kids, if you're out there, we will meet you. Playground.
Jeff, we're too old for that now.
Good. Man.
I played against Hatfield, and he was in college, and Trinity Crank, he was at Alderson Broadus.
Trinity
But,
Crank.
he didn't get much playing time there.
Trinity Crank, he had 8 joints in his neck, in his upper lumbar. A really long neck. I'm sorry, man. That's not right. I don't know him, but that's pretty funny.
The boy could jump out of the gym, though.
Yeah.
He had a really long neck. Everybody was tall compared to me. All
If you
right,
remember-
y'all. Hey, look,
Hey, Jeff,
yo. Yes.
did Pickett ever answer your question about the tornado?
he kind of smiled and laughed a little bit, but I just
That man had more pivot foots than anybody in history. Yeah, he could spin.
he was
Yeah.
a spinner.
That's why he was.
He was a spinner,
He
and
could get you up in the air and then
duck
bust it
down
and
low
break every
underneath.
rib.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would duck down low underneath him and come up under the ribs and get fouled. He was a pretty good free throw shooter. He was pretty good.
He was.
He would get fouled every time he would duck underneath someone's.
He brought a lot of energy into the game.
He did. He
He
did.
definitely had an interest.
Joey Pickett, where you at, brother?
Probably
Yeah.
one of the great men that ever played at Sharpless High, wasn't
Greatest.
Oh, yeah.
Man, there you heard
Mhm.
Frank Early.
he?
Look, we need to do this. We're going to try to have one more meeting where we bring in, just try to invite any fans, students, and everything. And Danny Gerald, we missed you, and anybody else that has not been on here, Robbie Williams, and
Yep.
and,
They need to get on here, man, especially Gerald.
yeah, Danny Gerald, come on,
You
bro.
know?
Don't. And I haven't talked to Matthew in a long time. And Michael was on last time, and Lenny, who cares if you were, or not Lenny, Alan, I don't care if you were on the team this year or not. Like I obviously wasn't, but it's really important to Sharpless High School lore and history and the community and all that. So I think of some of the adults that I can remember their voices right now, Mrs. Kish and Huey Elshire and Mr. Williams and Jerry, your dad,
That's
Mr.
right.
Jerry, and I just remember the dads and moms from the community. It was just all of life. It was just a big, huge part of the community. And
B. Nasby,
Donna, it's just everybody. They just loved the kids, and it was just awesome. It was life, man. It was life. So we looked up to you guys. Well, I want you all to be at the Sharpless High School reunion in 2 years. You guys are all in, right? Can everybody commit to it right now? I'm just going to put you on the spot. I'm just going to do it again. James is in. Paul's in.
Yes.
Dale's in. Jerry. Lenny's
I'll be
in.
there.
Jerry. Frank.
yeah,
Frank.
Yes.
Bro, give me some. Yes. Frank's in. Jerry said yes.
I'll book a
Perry's
flight. No.
All right, and so we're gonna sign off because it's been an hour of recording. We need to rock and roll here. We're gonna do this one more time, like in January, February, if you guys are up for it, and we're just gonna invite everyone from the community to come out and talk to the guys, and we'll invite the cheerleaders, the kids, the students, and everyone, and just to kind of reminisce a little bit. So appreciate y'all's time. Really do. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas coming up here. And yeah, I guess that's it, man. I'm going to sign off. You guys good?
Good.
We're good.
Your time.
Appreciate you,
Lenny,
Jeff.
Frank, let's get together. You guys, anybody wants to get together between now and Christmas, let me know. You guys come up to Timberline and ski with me. Get your free tickets.
Now, Jeff,
I don't do no
I'll
skiing.
come-
That's
I'll
dangerous.
come up there and maybe have a drink with you or something. I am not.
Frank is
skiing,
Frank is in no contact sport. He wants the hole to be really big so he can run through it. So
Hey, James,
Takes too
he
long
really
to-
did sound like a girl on that
Hey.
football stuff.
Whatever.
he's still sore that he's not part of the Dominators.
That's low, man. Okay, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man! All right, boys. I love you guys, man. Y'all be good. Merry
All right.
Christmas. Talk
All
to you
right,
soon.
we'll see you.
Guys, have a good one.
Later.
See you, man.